This statement, which is part of the oldest of the Hindu scriptures, the Rig Veda, that "truth is one, sages call it by various names," encapsulates much of the overall character of the Hindu religion, a religion marked by diversity. That is, the beliefs and way the religion commonly known as Hindu is practiced and articulated by any certain individual or group may be so vast and distinct that one would think really totally different religions are actually going on. For example, one group of Hindus may believe in and adore a plethora of gods, others just one god. Others may have a non-theistic conception of the ultimate. Some Hindus may regularly say prayers. Others may refrain from prayers but meditate regularly. Some may reject all family ties to develop detachment and spiritual freedom. Others may do neither but perform their work responsibilities and spousal commitments with a kind of religious devotion. Some Hindus find that non-violence towards other people and animals is central to the religion. Others may actively serve as a soldier in the military as an expression of religious worship. Some may believe upholding the caste or social stratification system as key to the religion. Others may insist Hinduism, in its emphasis on spiritual equality, demands complete rejection of the caste system. Some Hindus may venerate a god through an icon or image called murti. Others may have no visual aids, but just try to clear the mind from all thoughts and images while they meditate. Some Hindus may take the Rig Veda as the central scripture of the religion. Others may know or care little about the Rig Veda, but be smitten with other scriptures, such as the Bhagavad Gita or Ramayana, which we'll learn about more in a later lecture. Others may believe language and scriptures are altogether useless, serving only as a veil to confuse. But they may rather meditate on a candle flame or practice a yoga posture as the best way to advance in the path of spiritual development. Yet what all these people have in common is that they appreciate, respect, or at the very least usually tolerate that those who are being religious in a different way than themselves are also practicing faith in a valid way, though probably very well lead them to the same truth, just called by a different name, and approached up a different highway of the mountain. This diversity and acceptance of diversity itself may alone be the key mark that unifies all forms of Hinduism. Big questions to pay attention to and think about as you hear and take notes on this presentation are: in what ways are questions of origin important? And 2, how do Vedic daily and ritual life participate in the ultimate or the cosmos? And we'll look at that at the second part of this presentation. Next, when we are trying to understand Hinduism, we should take note of the nebulousness of the term itself. That is, it is difficult to know what the word actually names. Whereas other religions that we'll study in this class can be traced back to particular founders, such as the Buddha for Buddhism, Abraham and Moses and David and Solomon for Judaism, Jesus and the Apostle Paul for Christianity, or Muhammad for Islam. Hinduism does not have a particular or even a small handful of particular founders that it can be traced back to. Rather, the term was popularized by outsiders, by, for example, Persian Muslims about 500 years ago, who used such a word to apply to the region east of them around the Indus River and the people who lived there. Later, After 1600, as the British became more and more enmeshed in the governance of India and the exploitation of its natural agricultural and human resources, the British, used it to refer to the various ethnic groups of the region of India. Then they began to use it to designate a religious identity. However, this religious identity was by way of what it was not, more than by what certain common beliefs and practices. That is, anyone who were not Muslims, not Christians, and not Jewish were seen as and called Hindu. Often this included those who were not Jain, Buddhist, or Sikh either. With such a situation, some scholars of religion in India proposed to throw out the term altogether and study the many religious groups in the subcontinent of India itself, as each being their own religious tradition. On the other hand, the term Hindu itself has been picked up by Indians themselves to describe a religious identity distinct from Muslims and Christians. Sometimes they use the term in an inclusive way, demarcating Jainism, Buddhism, and Sikhism, whose origins are also in India, as part of the Hindu religion, against the so-called intruders, Muslims and Christians. One political party, which is called by its acronym the BJP, has largely used such rhetoric of India as a Hindu country, whose interests and values they alone are working to promote, become one of the most popular political parties in India, even while India itself remains a secular country without any official religion. However, other times, the people of India use an older phrase, Sanatana Dharma, which means the eternal religion, duty, and righteousness, to name the traditional religion of the Indian subcontinent. What are the roots of Hinduism? In the mid-1850s, while excavating for a railroad being built, workers uncovered in northeast India, in what is present-day Pakistan, an ancient settlement that archaeologists came to see as one of the great civilizations of the ancient world, the Indus Valley Civilization. This civilization, of which central cities were Mohenjo-daro and Harappa, was most vibrant between 3000 BCE and 1600 BCE, encompassed millions of acres, and had some cities with over 30,000 people, which was huge for the ancient world. Archaeologists believe they spoke Aryan languages and Dravidian languages. Their writing system is mostly mysterious, so what we know about them comes from guesswork when studying their artifacts and mapping out their city structurescapes. These cities show impressive skill in the use of crafting instruments through metallurgy, making handicrafts, as well as urban planning in the organization of their cities. In these cities, they have found large halls that may have served as sites for government, courts, or as places of religious ritual. They may have served as granaries for storage of food. In these cities, they have also found vast canal systems for running water and plumbing. They have an impressive network of paved roads, and satellite images of roads deduce that these cities were part of a large trading network that probably went from Mesopotamia between the Tigris and Euphrates in what is now present-day Iraq, all the way east to perhaps East Asia and in what is present-day China. In these two maps, you can see the area in which the Indus Valley Civilization was located, so named due to its proximity to the Indus River, which was a great water and agricultural source. On the map on the right, you can see its location in Asia relative to the nearby continents of Africa and Europe. On the left, you can see the location of these civilizations in what is now the country of Pakistan, part of the larger area known as the Indian subcontinent. In this picture, you can see an artistic representation of their canal systems and paved roads as they may have looked 4,000 years ago. In these pictures on the right, you can see the large halls believed to be a site of government meetings or courts, perhaps of large religious rituals or storing of grains. On the left, it is what it looks like, toilets. Similar to the ancient Romans, a much better form of human waste excrement disposal than simple outhouses and bushes. They had indoor toilets and indoor plumbing.